I called into my local Indian motorcycle dealer today, Indian Motorcycle in Ballarat, and just to have a bit of a look what was on the floor and also to have a bit of a talk about my recent Indian Chief order and the new Indian Sport Chief developments. I'm not going to say too much, and I want to keep it a surprise as to what I'm buying and what I'm going to be riding. And while I was there, I was checking out all the floor stock they've got on the floor, which is quite surprising. And some of the bikes they've got there, like this Indian Chieftain Limited, which looks absolutely superb in this blue. I did see they've got about 3 FTRs on the floor. So if you're into FTRs, there's stock there ready to go. And also this just traded Harley Davidson Fat Bob 107, which was in nice condition. I believe it's a one owner with some mods on. You can see the pipes here are obviously an aftermarket add-on. Yeah, it's just quite interesting to see what's there, and I thought I might just bring these bikes to your attention in case you're chasing an Indian or a bike that you may not think to look at a dealership like the Indian Motorcycle dealership for a Harley, for instance. We also had the Scout Rogue sitting on the floor. I think there was a couple sitting there. And the Scout Rogue is definitely a bike I want to test ride at some point, so if they do get a demo, I will be test riding. And speaking of demos, they have a Chief Bobber Dark Horse demo there. If you're interested in test riding a Chief and you're thinking about a Chief, they do have a demo, so that's worth looking at. And there's also this awesome Kawasaki H2R, which I believe has never been ridden on the road, so which was for sale. Obviously perfect condition and extras. I'm not sure if these stands and tyre warmers and everything come with it, but if you're thinking about a H2R, it's worth asking the question of the guys at Indian Motorcycle in Ballarat. And obviously you can see they've got a nice Tirana sitting there and a Monaro that possibly are for sale. Didn't actually ask about those. Also in the traded section was this Triumph Tiger 1200, which I thought was reasonably priced when you consider the prices of the new Tiger 1200s. Obviously it's not a new Tiger 1200, but if you are looking for a Tiger 1200, it might be an option. And then Royal Enfields, there's heaps of them. And these are all new bikes. This is all stock on the floor, ready to go. As is this Indian Scout. And here's another shot of the FTRs. Now this is interesting. This is a Chieftain Dark Horse, which is a demo. So if you're interested in the Indian Chieftain Dark Horse, here's one ready to go. Now I have ridden this bike in the Springfield platform, and that's a beautiful riding bike. If you're looking for something comfortable, really nice riding suspension, and a really nice comfortable place to be, the Chieftain Dark Horse is definitely a bike to look at. And here's another shot of the Chief Bobber Dark Horse. Now this is the Indian Challenger Dark Horse. So again, I think it's the same platform as the Chieftain Dark Horse, but obviously a lot more weather protection. And there was also a Roadmaster Dark Horse as well. Here's another shot of an Indian Scout Rogue, a couple of Indian Scout Bobber 20s. There's plenty of Indian Scouts on the floor if you're looking for an Indian Scout, which is great news, great to see the stock there. And finally, here's a just traded Yamaha V-Star for about 10 grand or 995 or whatever it was. And I haven't seen one of these on the roads for quite a while, and it was in really nice condition. So that's it. That was my quick tour of the Indian Motorcycle dealership in Ballarat and what's on the floor, what's in stock, what's available, ready to go. So if you're thinking about any of those bikes, definitely hit the guys up at Indian Motorcycle in Ballarat and yeah, have a chat to them. They're really easy to get on with, really good to deal with, and they're the guys that are selling me my Indian Chief whatever. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Here's a couple of videos you might be interested in, and until next time, bye for now.